Welcome to Order Militaris Radio TV, and we're live flowing Catholics. And what we do is all for free, and for our love of Jesus Christ, and for our Holy Mother, the Church, and we'll defend our Holy Mother, the Church. Today we're going to be talking about a group of online group called NAFO with Brother Alexis Brignolo.
Thank you, AJ, for having me on Order Militaris Radio TV. And excuse the background noise. I'm outside of a house where the snow is melting so rapidly off a roof that it's like a waterfall. So I'm here in the United States, in Massachusetts. AJ's in Kansas, so it's one of our American productions. I'm going to talk about a really bad experience on social media by people who claim to be part of a group that supports the Ukraine. And anyone who watches Order Militaris Radio TV knows that we're ardent supporters of Ukraine. We have been so from the first moments of the invasion last year. So AJ, this started with, I think I suggested, why don't you try using a NAFO hashtag on a fundraiser tweet? And what was your experience?
Well, on the fundraiser tweet, I put the hashtag NAFO, and we got a lot of people to read it and see it, but no interaction.
Yeah, and if we see social media, if it's really human beings interacting, not government paid trolls or any kind of paid organization, not a propaganda op or a psyop. If you have human interaction, you're going to get human reaction in return. If you get absolute silence, then there's some agenda at hand. We've talked about this a lot. This is a standard Masonic modus operandi. You are invited to be part of the community. You are told to be part of the community. You say it's the patriotic thing to be part of the community, but you are just used. Your input is never wanted. They want you to make them appear to be great by participating in it and filling the room. But you raise your hand and say anything, you don't exist. And that's not democracy, and those aren't Ukrainian values. I have been to Ukraine. I have met Ukrainians. I have befriended Ukrainians. And I am glad and proud that I have. And I can tell you, Ukrainians don't act like that at all. Ukrainians are far more respectful, far more gentlemanly, far more courteous than most Europeans, but certainly more than Americans. So what are this? Very quickly, we started noticing things about NAFO, that they're raising money. Yeah. And who are they raising this money for?
They're raising money for different individuals, private individuals, but nothing goes to a charity or an organization. And there's like 5 or 6 different gimme things for different people, but we noticed, and we said, wait a minute, that's against the rules and laws of Ukraine.
Okay, so let's, that is the catchy introduction. Let's now tell you something, what NAFO is, who founded it, and let you know that it was founded with a really good intention by some really upright and honest people. AJ, what's the story of NAFO? When does it begin? Who is this group?
Yeah. So, pardon me, folks. The Firefox is having a moment here. So let me get to it here. So, NAFO was designed to counter Russian propaganda and Russian intelligence, and we'll hopefully be able to tell you the people soon. And they do a lot of, interesting memes to counter Russian intelligence and propaganda, and they like to use images of dogs.
And When were they started? In June or May last year? What's
Yeah,
the Wikipedia article say about them?
yeah. I'm on a website here. So after we went after these folks. Your journal was somewhat hacked. My website's a little slow for the radio, but seems all working here for me. But yeah, okay, we're now getting to the show page here. So, okay. So, all right, here we go. Wikipedia. So the NAFO group, NAFO, is called the North Atlantic Fellows Organization. It was created in May 2022 when Twitter artist Camille Diazewski under the handle Camilla started adding modified pictures of a Shiba Inu dog, the fella, to photographs from Ukraine. NAFU, such as it is, was founded on May 24, 2022 with a tweet. The Shiba Inu breed has had significant presence in online culture since at least 2010 under the Dodge meme, the Dodge coin meme.
Yeah, but I'll observe first of all, they're not fighting Russian propaganda put out by the FSB. They're fighting low-grade, regurgitated Russian propaganda put out by immature people in Western countries or outside of the Ukraine. So they are doing something good because a lot of these people have simple mind, and you have to wake them up to reality. But I'm an anthropologist, so I have a degree from University of Florida anthropology, and I don't think what they're doing is really effective, just from this first point of view. If someone believes the lies of Russian propaganda, the effective way to fight that is to share with them objective reports and information that show that the lies are lies. Insulting them, calling them an MFer, degrading them because of their gender, sexual identity, religion, choice of words, spelling, that's not going to win Ukraine allies. That's going to make more enemies. That's going to encourage people to donate to the Russian cause, not to the Ukrainian cause. That's just common psychology. So there's a lot of people at NAFO that might have good intentions. I don't know them all. We only know the ones we interact with, and the ones we've interacted with are the scum of the scum. These people are not helping Ukraine at all, and they're claiming to be approved by the Ukrainian government. So here's shell games. So AJ, how do they claim to be supported by the U.S. government? What kind of memes do they use, and does that really jive with who they are? What have you seen?
I've seen the one where they say they've been approved, been welcomed or approved by I think it was the defense minister when he changed his image to a dog. And they say, "Oh, that means they like us." Then they have this weird medal, but it's not the medal that everyone else is getting for helping in Ukraine in some way.
Mm-hmm. And do they have like a membership list? Other than that fact that they post the dog mem?
No.
Mm-hmm. And I have seen as early as October of last year, someone claiming to be NAFO using a dog avatar, warning others that someone else doing the same thing is really a fraudster trying to get personal information. So it's pretty clear they don't have a memberships list. They don't vet their members, and that they know they have scammers, and they even warn about scammers that are pretending to be their own kind. So this is really serious because they're not an organization, not like Ordo Militaris Catolicus. We are an organization. Were we founded on social media? Yeah, but what's the first thing we did? We incorporated a U.S. corporation. AJ and I were the incorporators. And we put our names out there. We filed government official. The FBI checked our background, and and no one's had any problems with our organization or anything what we do. None who is a serious person and not a grifter. But these people, who are they? I mean, they don't seem to be Ukrainians. That's the first thing. Or maybe some of them are. I'm not saying all of them, but I don't see them. At the beginning, I saw them tweeting in Ukrainian.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't see them tweeting in Ukrainian more. These people that are tweeting may not even be Ukrainians. They're just claiming. So, and they make contradictory claims, like, oh, because he put up a dog avatar, therefore I'm legit. Well, you know, it doesn't work that way. That's like saying the president of the United States is put the seal of America on the podium when he speaks, and therefore, if I use that on my profile, I'm legit. That's not even an argument. I mean, that wouldn't convince anyone out of high school, or at least it shouldn't. And they're absolutely convinced that that is a sound argument. Mm-hmm. I mean, what kind of how could they be effectively fighting propaganda with arguments like that?
I mean, yeah, then we really touched nerves when we started to go and ask about this guy who calls himself Alex Bond. And he's raising all this money.
He claims to be raising money.
And he shows all this going to these guys in Bakhmut or whatever. But
does he name the military units?
No.
I haven't seen him. He might have in the past. We haven't seen him recent times. And he has a link to like a page where you can have, there's 5 different accounts you can send money.
Mm-hmm.
Is anything going to a Ukrainian military unit?
Mm-hmm.
Is any one of those Ukrainian registered organization, charity or otherwise?
No.
And where's the money actually going?
I don't know.
They're private individual accounts.
Yeah.
And he has like 5 different, even has a couple Bitcoin kinds of electronic currency, he has a PayPal account, I think he has a GoFundMe, but they're not all going to him, he's going to several people. So I don't know even who Alex Bond is. I assume it's the one that's called Alexander in Ukrainian, Oleskander. I assume that's him, but Bond is not a Ukrainian name, so maybe. So common sense here. They're saying, well, we're supporting Ukraine. Don't look at paperwork. That's about the only one who defended. We said, can anyone verify that he's actually giving to military units? We tweeted out to everyone. No one came to his support. But what happened was there was an explosion of trolls, 20 or 30, like endless. And they didn't even reply to our request for information. We never insulted Alex Bond, never said anything about him. We just said, can anyone tell us more about it? Why is he doing this? When NAFO members all over Twitter saying, we don't raise money for ourselves. Mm-hmm. We promote charities and military units, and we give our own money to them. So we asked, that's not what Alex Bond is doing. He's taking the money apparently himself. Mm-hmm. And I know it's a war, but you know, in 2022, we were out there. We were one of the first organizations out there. I was hitchhiking my way to Poland like March 2nd. Okay. And I can understand in the first months, you don't have an organization, so you receive it in your own name. I never received money in my own name to help Ukrainians. I'll just state that. AJ has never received money in his own name to help the Ukrainians. Why? Because we're a serious organization. We already had a corporation in America. We raised that, or corporation did the fundraise. But it's now 13 months, 14 months. Have you just come on board and just started claiming to be NAFO, just started claiming to be Ukrainian volunteer, whatever that means? And so you don't have an organization? Well, I could understand that, but it's not. It's 14 months now, nearly 14 months, 13 months. So that doesn't cut it. That's not an excuse. Now, Alex Bond, I didn't ask the question. Our association asked the question to its Twitter account, Military Scout. What do you mean, Alex Bond, by Ukrainian volunteer? Do we get any answer to that?
Uh, we got a response from a thing called Judah, which is supposed to be some sort of independent judicial council for the United Nations, which also a part of an independent police force for the United Nations.
And they claim that Alex Bonds was a member.
Yeah.
That he was a member of even dozens of organizations, including. Does their organization exist?
Oh.
So, I don't know. I don't know if NAFO members all work together or not. But Alex Bond has the worst friends if he's an honest Ukrainian actually raising money for the war. Because someone just claimed that he's legit because he's a member of a fake non-existent group.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's low-grade propaganda, and that's like low-grade scamming. You might be able to scam an 8-year-old on that, but you're not going to scam AJ or I or any adult. We've been on social media since 2016, long before this began, and we've seen a lot of scammers out there. We outed a scammer in May, June of last year, who was claiming to be an American private military corporation representative, and he was organizing some group in the Ukraine. It was all a scam. And so, who is Alex Bond? What does he mean by Ukraine? So I assume he's a man. And I assume he's Ukrainian. That might be wrong. He might not be any of those accounts that are receiving the money. But if he's a Ukrainian man, he's probably been conscripted. Or why isn't he fighting?
Mm-hmm.
And if he's a volunteer, why is he ashamed to say, I'm a volunteer with the 32nd Mechanized or with Ukrainian Volunteer Legion or with the Kievan Society of Patriots? So yeah, name your organization.
Yeah.
How can you be a volunteer in 26 organizations at once? I can tell you it's not possible unless you're just doing nothing other than tweeting on their behalf. So, I made this comment to many people last year. Harry East of Ukrainian ADOPS, he's an Estonian. He is an expert in publicity and in marketing. He started this organization, Ukrainian ADOPS, and he went to the Ukraine, and he's been shipping millions of dollars of equipment, millions of dollars. So it's not like Alex Bond, who claims to be doing thousands, millions of dollars. But he dresses as a member of the military, and he's not a member of the military. Mm-hmm. And I said to people who know him, I said, if you're raising money through an American nonprofit in Florida and you're not a member of the military and people think you are because you're dressing as one, that's fraud in American law. Mm-hmm. That's fraud in advertising. That's fraud in fundraising. That's charity fraud in American law. Maybe that's not in Ukrainian law. And I advised them to tell him to stop that, Okay. That's just our level of ethics. You don't see me dressed as a member of the military. I'm not a member of the military. Okay, so, if you're going to raise money, say who you're volunteering with. All we asked was, can anyone give us more information? And then there was an explosion of hate. What are all the different kinds of attacks we've been seeing in the last 24 hours? It's nonstop now. It's 30 hours.
Yeah, they're attacking us because we're Catholic. Attacking us because we're helping persecuted Christians. We are, what does it say? Nosy.
Attacking us for raising money for a registered Ukrainian charity.
Yeah.
Attacking us for selling products in the United States and donating all the assets to the Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Vicious attacks against Catholics. Attacking the Pope, attacking priests, attacking our God, mocking Jesus Christ. No Ukrainian would do that. I lived in Ukraine nearly 3 months. They would never do that. They're very respectful, religious people. Who are these people? Mm-hmm. So now we'll come to hacking. Oh yeah, keep going. Yeah.
And after all the prodding I finally did, Alex Bond finally comes out of the woodwork. Just a volunteer doing this. Okay, we vetted you. And I retweeted your stuff. What more do you want? Yeah, you retweeted us one time.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's fine, but if you think that if you retweet us, then we're going to take away our question. Another one of his followers said, well, if we give you this information, will you erase all your tweets? No, it doesn't work that way. I'm an anthropologist. Know who acts that way? Criminals act that way. It's like, don't call the police when I rob number 19 Maple Street, because I'll let you rob 17 Maple Street and not call the police. Yeah, okay. These people aren't helping the Ukraine, but the worst of all is that it seems very certain that while our main account was refuting all the troll attacks, they hacked into the browser being used by the main account. And they somehow got the IP, they somehow got the passwords in the browser, and they hacked into other social media accounts that browser was logged into habitually. Now, that's a serious crime. And that's no small level, I'm a 16-year-old and I produce nice, funny memes and to fight the Russian kind of thing. No, that's a serious individual with serious knowledge. And when the hack came through, the IPs were coming from Canada, Netherlands, United Arab Emirates, Singapore, and Russia. Ukraine wasn't there. So these people aren't Ukrainians. They're not even in Ukraine. But Russia was there. So it seems that some people claiming the NAFO are just jerks.
Yeah.
Some are anti-Catholic bigots. We have no certain evidence that any of them are Ukrainians, the one at least that trolled us. They're foreigners. They're English speakers. Some of them are native English speakers, not all of them. They act like Marxists. They're just like Obama trolls. I remember Obama trolls on social media back in like 2008 and 2010. Just like them. Where would they learn those skills? And some of them are from Russia. If I was a supporter of the Ukraine and I was in Russia, I wouldn't be hacking Catholic organizations' websites who raise money for the Ukraine or belittling them. I would be joining the underground and blowing something up, because it's a war. So there's big questions about these people. And they even attempted to defend what Alex Bond was doing with the most absurd arguments. And the ones who said, no, we give our own money, we don't raise it in our own name, none of them came out and criticized Alex Bond and told him to stop it. None of them. And Alex Bond then blocked us because, he's such an adult that he can take criticism. And that's complete hypocrisy because NAFO is constantly insulting people all across social media because after their silly, inane, habitual harassing, trolling, they get blocked by their victims. And they think the victim shouldn't block them. And they're being called pedophiles because a pedophile doesn't think the victim should resist. And they are acting the same way. I'm not saying they're pedophiles, but their psychology is very sick. It's very dark. And it's very abusive. And if I wasn't a supporter of the Ukraine, they wouldn't convince me to support Ukraine. I can tell you that. So, AJ, what do you think should be the solution here? How should true patriots who are supporting Ukraine deal with NAFO? How should they react to this renegade group among NAFO? Or I don't know what they are. Not following any rules.
Yeah. If they could be, I would suggest that if they can locate the IPs of where these guys are attacking are from, contact the proper authorities in their countries, not Russia will do anything. Give the IPs over to their, FBI or whatever it's called over there. It's like these guys are acting like criminals. They have tried to hack and attack our websites, and then see what happens. But then also those who are the real NAFO, who are actually doing stuff to help the Ukraine, those guys need to get together, incorporate, lay down laws, bylaws, rules, everything to make sure they are 100% legal. There's no corruption. There is nothing going on that is shady like what we have witnessed. And once they learn of those bad apples members who are actually doing criminal things against those who support Ukraine, hand those names and info off to our neighbors who are the security. Was it SBU?
National Police. Yes,
Yeah,
BU and the National Police.
and
Yeah,
let them
go ahead.
let them knock on the doors in their nice, beautiful camo and rifles and like. So I heard you bad mouthing Ukraine supporters and watch them squirm.
Now, we're not anti-NAFO, NAFOs. But if you are pro-NAFO and you are a NAFO member, whatever that means, it doesn't really mean anything, become a policeman of your group and go through the tweets and social media shares of people claiming to NAFO. And when you find someone violating the ethics, if you have ethics, warn the founder. The foundress of this movement needs to organize a committee that polices it. Because if it's completely amorphous, this is the best opportunity for any hacker and scammer out there. All he has to do is claim to support the Ukraine, take the NAFO hashtag, get the little doggy, and then he can say, give me your personal information, your credit card, send me money. Why is sending money to a registered organization better than sending it to a private individual? Even if you have pictures of him standing with Zelensky. Why? Because every organization has to file annually to the government. It has to have its documents ready to explain where that money went. It has a bank account in the Ukraine that is looked over by Ukrainian security, Ukrainian police, Ukrainian tax authorities that looks at every single transaction. Now, if you think Ukrainians don't follow paperwork, it's because you've never been in Ukraine. I've been in Ukraine. These people are absolutely precise about financial transactions because everyone has a declared income rate. And when you send them money to their bank account, the government immediately takes some of that for taxes. It could be 18, 20%. So if you're sending money to a private Ukrainian, chances are your money is going, 20% of it's going in taxes. Whereas if you send it to a registered organization, 100% is going to help the Ukraine. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if it's not a registered organization, well, he could raise 10,000 and say on Twitter, he raised 5,000. And then the other 5,000 he puts in his bank account in the Cayman Islands. I'm not saying anyone's doing that, but a scammer could do that because NAFO is completely unregulated, and the members seem to help one another in all their fake claims. It doesn't seem they think they have to be transparent or actually have factual claims supported by factual evidence. It doesn't seem they even have to do that. So it's a scammer paradise. And, when the war is done and over and the SBU investigates these people, you're going to find a good number who claim to be supporting the Ukraine, who are total scammers. Now, if you support the Ukraine, just Google what the police in the Ukraine do to people who steal humanitarian aid, commit stolen honor, that's claimed to be a member of the military and raise funds, but keep it themselves. Those people aren't treated nicely. To do that during war is a serious crime. It's not a nice joke. You might be scamming some people on Twitter so that you can buy, your Starbucks coffee after school or something worse. But, you're laughing now, but you're going to go to a long jail once you're caught. And we're going to be dedicated to helping you get caught. Because if any NAFO who's going to troll us on social media, we're going to file a report against every single account to get you banned. Because scum like you are not helping Ukraine. You're not. And we know, because we truly love Ukraine and have dedicated our all to that in as much as we can, that getting rid of scum like you is true love of Ukraine and is truly supporting the cause of Ukraine. and that Zelensky doesn't want scum like you. Zelensky wants registered organizations that truly help the Ukrainian people. And so don't try to claim that he's supporting you. Don't try to claim the Minister of Defense supports all of you. That's anyone can claim to be that a member of your organization, so it doesn't mean anything. So what more can we say, AJ? Warning. What warning should we say to all the people out there who truly love and support Ukraine when they hear any financial claim or solicitation by a NAFO member?
I would say for your safety and security of your information, I would not give to them until the foundress and incorporates and makes sure everything is legit. They have a proper Ukrainian bank and goes through all the security measures that you laid out. Make sure everything is legal. And then if you want to help give to Ukraine to help Ukraine, give to actual registered nonprofits, charities, organizations, and like ours.
Or any of the ones you can see on social media that have done these things.
Yeah.
You know, I want to warn you not to trust any claim by NAFO. Even if they say donate to this registered charity, don't believe they're giving you the correct URL, the correct email, the correct PayPal, or the correct phone number. Because all they have to do is create fakes and then say, donate to this charity, and it's fake information, the money goes to them. And you think you've helped the charity, but your money never got to that charity. So any link on their profiles, in their tweets, any website that approves of them, be highly cautious of fraud, because this group is completely unregulated, and it's full of people that act like trolls, hackers, scammers, and Russian MK Ultra. You know, wouldn't NAFO be the best thing the Russians could infiltrate? And what could they do with it, AJ, in your opinion, if they did?
So, yeah, it would be the perfect opportunity to turn the tide of support for Ukraine against Ukraine and to use these scum on earth to point to even hurt even more than what is going on in the West and everywhere else about what's really going on in Ukraine. They can use these guys to then paint a different picture to help finish off what the Russian propaganda has already begun. And once they take that over, no more help will come to Ukraine, and that is what Russia wants.
And you know, if you open a PayPal account with Ukrainian sounding name anywhere in the world and claim to be supporting Ukraine and use that NAFO hashtag, there's no guarantee that that person is sending your money to Ukraine. He could be sending it to Russia. He could be sending it to the Wagner mercenary group. You don't know because there's no oversight. And even if it's going to a private account in the Ukraine, it could end up in Russian hands because there are Ukrainians who support Russia. I know. I had neighbors in Kyiv who supported Russia. One disappeared. He said he was going to Taiwan. I think he joined up for the Russian army. He was a former lieutenant colonel in the Ukrainian army. So this is why I always go through registered organizations that have government oversight. Because, you know, if there's any hanky-panky going on, the Ukrainian government just tells that Ukrainian bank, shut down that account, take all those monies. There's nothing the Ukrainian charity could do about it. So they have to be legit. Okay. So I cannot warn you enough about NAFO. And there might be some really good people out there, but the ones we run into are shady, doubtful, and they give the whole organization a bad name. I'm not saying that the whole organization has a bad name, but the whole organization has to do something about this kind of behavior, or they're digging their own grave, you know. And I could see that in May of last year, this was a good organization, but you know, it's been a year now. Get your act in order.
Yeah.
And if you're going to attack Catholics or Christians or blaspheme the holy name of Jesus Christ, you're not going to have peace from our organization, even if you claim to be a supporter of Ukraine. because we exist to defend Christians against scum like you, and we will prevail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a very big protector in heaven who's been known to throw a little wood at YouTube and others who try to stop some of our videos. Oh, by the way, she's a great grandmother and the Duchess of Kiev.
And may Saint Olga helps support and protect all who truly love Ukraine and are working day and night, many without even pay. Support these brave men that are risking their lives to defend their country. All of them are great heroes, and we who are not risking so much and not suffering so much, we have done yet little to help, and we need to do a lot more. So thank you, AJ, for having me here on Automil Terrace Radio TV to talk about something about how we can truly support Ukraine in an honest, upright way, and how we can defend her just cause from being slimed by scum like this.
Yep. This is Automil Terrace Radio TV signing off. Yes, well.
Yeah, so.